world's gone to shit, but there's one thing I know. Oh, it's happened before, it'll happen again. Don't despair, don't give up. If you do, oh, they win. So we ride, keeping our heads down until we're on the other side. Oh, we ride, we ride this bullshit out. The game is rigged, the road is hard, but saddle up and play your cards and ride, keeping our heads down until we're on the other side. Oh, we ride, we ride this bullshit out. Everything's gone to hell, just can't trust anyone. All around us is nonsense. Get your boots, saddle up, take the reins, 'cause today we ride, keeping our heads down until we're on the other side. Oh, we ride, we ride this bullshit out. We ride it out. Ooh, ride. We'll always ride this bullshit out.
Well, yeah. For the right price, I'll fucking kill him. I'll totally fucking kill him.
Let's start right in. Haru MMD is a Tumblr user who is engaged in extremely sketchy behavior. Ms. Gressley will give us a fitting introduction.
I first met Haru in another, now defunct, Thomas Discord server. He was an owner or mod of the Discord and allowed another user to misgender me. He then got upset and made an ageist remark toward me when I put him in his place. I forgot about him until he resurfaced on Tumblr.
During Haru's powerful position in the Discord, he also allowed several pedophiles to interact with fans, some for years. He became especially close with one named Kayden. Kayden was a convicted sex offender with an arrest record. He and Kayden held sex chats. He also bought video game equipment for Kayden whilst Kayden was in prison. Haru has a Tumblr with some very strange screenshots from a roleplay game he uses. He has edited the characters into fetishized, human versions of the engines. They are obese, some of the males with female-like breasts. They disturbingly have childlike faces. Some of the images are still available on his Tumblr page. He also had a Patreon, which has since been taken down. The content here was much the same as on his Tumblr, but more sexually explicit. He had many titles describing breeding and involved various references to farm animals, cows, bulls, horses, donkeys, and the like. One title included tupping. Tupping refers to the process of mating sheep, specifically the act of introducing a ram, male sheep, to a group of ewes, female sheep, for breeding purposes. In slang, it means to fuck in general. A couple of the images that were publicly available had graphic shots of sex, including genitals.
Upon observing his behavior, there are many narcissistic traits present. He lacks genuine empathy for who he's hurt. He feigns empathy for validation. He happily engages in white knighting. He has an extremely unhealthy addiction to attention, so as far as to engage in risky behaviors to get it. He cannot genuinely apologize for his actions. He uses a lot of blame shifting, deflection, and gaslighting. His Tumblr posts are focused on making him look innocent. He plays the victim well.
That brings up a point we hadn't mentioned. Narcissists rarely apologize because they lack empathy, have fragile egos needing constant protection, and possess a deep-seated sense of entitlement, viewing themselves as superior and never wrong. So admitting fault feels like admitting weakness, shattering their idealized self-image, and requiring them to acknowledge their impact on others, which they avoid through denial, blame-shifting, or victimhood. Their apologies, if given, are often manipulative and are feasting on being caught rather than genuine remorse. Fragile ego. Behind the grandiosity lies deep insecurity. Admitting error threatens their carefully crafted image of perfection, which they see as essential for survival. Lack of empathy. They struggle to understand or care about the pain they inflict, making the emotional impact on others secondary to their self-protection. Sense of entitlement. They genuinely believe they are above criticism or rules, seeing themselves as exceptional and never at fault, often blaming external factors. Fear of weakness. Apologizing feels like admitting they are flawed, inferior, or weak, which is terrifying for someone whose identity relies on being superior. Defense mechanism. Blaming others or denying wrongdoing is a defense to preserve their ego, avoid shame, and prevent emotional pain. Arrested development. They often haven't developed the emotional maturity, like empathy, needed to understand accountability or remorse, acting more like a child who can't admit mistakes. What a narcissistic apology looks like. They aren't sorry for the act, but for being caught or facing consequences, often shifting blame or playing the victim. Manipulation. An apology might be used to regain control, elicit sympathy, or keep someone engaged, not to make amends.
A healthy apology is neither an explanation nor an excuse. It requires owning up to the pain that one person caused another. It's healthy to take responsibility for one's actions and words, regardless of argumentation around what was said, what was meant, or what was heard. Why is this the case? A healthy apology springs from empathy and requires equal concern for the other. Equality and reciprocity are the foundation of a friendship. They ensure health and allow forgiveness and repair, both of which can be relied upon throughout a long relationship. Not really an apology. Apology may be a sign of narcissism, and as such is a danger sign that should not be ignored. Further investigation is necessary to determine how narcissistic the person might be, and whether the relationship should be modified accordingly. Interaction with narcissists can be emotionally painful, but setting firm limits with such a person, as well as modifying your expectations of what they're able to give, will help. Sometimes a relationship with a narcissist can become so unhealthy that you must limit or even restrict your contact with them.
Another disturbing person is a Discord user called Borketh. They are a moderator in the Train of Thought Discord server. I'll let Ms. Gresley give a bit of insight into the situation.
When I first joined the Train of Thought Discord, I was unaware that Grosbeck and Zeepy and his gang were in the server. I was immediately greeted with insults, including references to Chris Chan and Baroness Davenport, who claims to be married to a metro train. These insults were allowed to go unchecked and without reprimand. I, however, was reprimanded for becoming upset over it. Borketh had a bias against me from the start, from that very first day. As time went on, he allowed another member named Kayden to send sexually suggestive images of anime girls. These things are extremely sexist and inappropriate for a train server. He was also allowed to post an image directly mocking me, which again went without being punished. Kayden then engaged in an argument which was staged in order to give an excuse to kick me out without seeming sketchy. Kayden wasn't reprimanded, wasn't banned. Before I was banned, Borketh engaged in purposely ignorant, crass, and phobic comments, and was also not reprimanded for it. I did not engage in flirting with any fellow members. I did make a few slightly naughty jokes, but nothing worse than anyone else there. I need to highlight that my jokes were not aimed at any person. Also, Kayden is a minor.
We were able to talk to a former member of the Discord who was also banned unfairly. They have further insight.
Hi, you wanted to know about the Train of Thought Discord server? Shit, it's a real mixed bag. There are some really great peeps there who are just there for the trains. They're awesome to talk to and really post interesting stuff. Then there's the other side who are just all up in your grill whenever they don't like you. The server has a very misogynistic and sexist air to it. Female members are only appreciated if they are trans, and this means nothing bad at all to the trans community or our cisgender girls who know to conform. There are very few cisgender girls or trans masked dudes. Rose got kicked out for standing up to Borketh several times. Lots of gatekeeping goes on. There's a very locker room feel to it. There are lots of images of sexy anime girls with big titties and short skirts. Some of the images get super cringe. I'm talking cartoonish depictions of little girls, not women. These are fucking kitty girls, yo. Little children. These dudes normalize this shit, and to be mad honest, a lot of them give white van free candy type vibes. You hear me, son? The general mood of the environment is tense unless you are a teacher's pet, especially for the mods. Borketh is trans female who rewards their apple polisher trans members by showering them with attention. They are put on a pedestal. Borketh is also a groomer, power hungry and extremely antagonistic. This is a known secret, but no one is allowed to say anything as members. I'm glad that I can finally say this now that I'm no longer there. I don't give two shits what gender you are, by the way. Just don't be a douche, you know.
Our last topic is a Tumblr user called Woodland Scenics Valmillion. I'll let Ms. Gresley take over again.
I had gotten a random, insulting message in my inbox in mid-December 2024 from this person. I think I had subbed them for their library of train pictures. Luckily, a friend of mine is still able to secure them without me having to interact with the user, as well as those who have harassed me that had art I was actually interested in. I hadn't actually interacted with them otherwise. We had never engaged in conversation prior to this. They claimed they were blocking me because of my quote-quote insanely hateful rant about Palestine fundraisers. They proceeded to school me on what they felt were facts regarding this. They did not engage in conversation with me to understand why I made the rant. As I said previously, I have nothing against Palestine. I have an issue with the scam mills who profit off of disasters. It's sickening that so many people, especially on Tumblr, are gullible enough to think these are genuine. They are helping scammers take advantage of not only actual Palestinian victims by profiting off their pain, but extorting money and in some cases engaging in sex trafficking and other offences. They are often based in places such as Asia and are profiteering rackets. They are not genuine people. There is nothing wrong with donating to Palestinian aid if you have the money, but stick to reputable sites. It was after I posted about this person's abhorrent behavior when I started getting the torrent of harassment on Tumblr from those in the Thomas fandom. It was a continuous echo chamber of ignorant user after ignorant user, hurling abuse, all without even having a civil conversation with me. It was extremely upsetting, which was what they were hoping for. This behavior is all too common in the fandom. The admins of social media sites need to put their foot down on narcissists and their abuse campaigns. Unfortunately, this is a concern that goes silently unresolved, as if those who run these sites are too afraid to touch the issue. You want to be treated like anyone else? Then you need to be held accountable, just like anyone else.
And yes, calling out a trans person is not transphobic as long as their inappropriate behavior is being called out, not their gender. For example, in Borketh's case, being a trans female is not wrong or bad. However, being a phobic and promoting sexual harassment in a sexist environment and then making excuses to cover up their actions is inexcusable. I looked at the screen caps. Borketh did nothing to discuss the matter with Miss Gresley. The insults Borketh hurled were not only phobic, but low-key racist as well. Miss Gresley mentioned being culturally and religiously modest, and Borketh went straight to an Islamophobic and racist comment. They assumed she was a Muslim. It's dehumanizing. It reduces a person to an object, a tent, stripping them of their humanity. It's also a hate comment used to incite further abuse. The owner of the Discord apparently did nothing and instead supported Borketh's behavior.
Yes, I'm not spiritually religious, but I do follow modesty, as I'd mentioned previously. I sometimes cover my head as well. I'm of partial Indian descent and I'm Sikh. Many stricter Sikh women cover their heads and wear modest dress, and modesty in general is a widespread cultural practice in South Asia. I also do it because it makes me feel more comfortable as a sex and romance-repulsed woman, reducing the opportunities for others to leer at me.
Yeah, dude. Borketh loves to constantly bring up about being transgender. Okay, cool. You're trans. This isn't a transgender Discord. It's for trains. Chew fucking chew, my man. Save that for the right place. You segregate the people who ain't trans and make it seem as though there's something wrong with them for being cisgender. When you can't fucking discuss shit nicely with people before banning them, you abuse your powers. That's shitty. Borketh also feels that they can make all kind of fucking creepy ass jokes, but demonizes the targets they hate when they make PG-rated jokes, and they get away with that shit all the time. They get rewarded for being a human cesspool. You ain't all that in a bag of fries, then, to encourage a teen to harass a woman. What the fuck is wrong with you? You hear me, son?
This also reiterates what we've been covering in past episodes. People like this have shown that they are defending a dangerous ulterior motive by shutting down the ability to communicate. Doing research or having said conversations would go against their goals and expose their more devious plans. They use an echo chamber as a proxy for fact. Having more people backing them up makes the victim outnumbered, making them validated. Whether they are right or wrong means nothing at this point. People who engage in this behavior should be immediately suspect, as these acts are incredibly toxic. Those who white knight these users are also co-conspirators and accomplices in this disturbingly destructive scheme.
This has been a truly enlightening discussion. I want to thank all of you for your contributions and insight. I will post any additional bits we come across if and when necessary. I hope that, by telling this woman's story, we can help a lot of people be more aware of how toxic gatekeeping behavior affects others, and help them to be aware of other people causing or perpetuating these actions. Especially when people don't even realize that they too have been manipulated into hurting others.
Atop a burdened donkey rode a stranger into town, tilted in the saddle, one leg dragging on the ground. He had crooked eyes, a crooked nose, could look both ways as he crossed the road. The rope that held his pants up was barely even tied. He slid off his steed and took a big swig from a flask. Then he said out loud, although nobody had asked, I'm just a dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. He had bloodshot eyes, a dripping nose. Then through all the chaos we all started hearing clops. He was the dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. Look, my friends, are you sure you wanna go there? Said the dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. Oh, to my surprise, I saw a glint of fire in those crooked looking eyes. He was the dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. The dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. And it sure was a sight to see. They set 10 men up, he knocked 10 men down, and any man who took a stand was sentenced then to die. He was a dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. He was the dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere. Oh, the dumb fuck from bumblefuck nowhere.